Do you think the next generation will be better at killing? I mean, I'm sure you've read on killing.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Probably, I think because of a lot of the internet stuff, they're not as sensitive to it. I mean, even with the horrible videos ISIS puts out, I remember the first beheading video, even before Zarqawi did it, and I remember seeing it thinking that's the most horrific thing I've ever seen. Now there's so much of it, it's like, oh, another beheading video. Oh, another suicide bomber. Like, think about that, suicide bomber. They're getting desensitized. And I think a lot of it's the internet. And so, I mean, they might not be as good at it when it's up close, but it seems like it doesn't mean as much.
My charity, Mercury One, moved 6,000 people out of Syria and Iraq, Christians and Yazidis. We moved them 6,000. And we've started a program over there to where we are going back in and using operators on the ground, not Americans, but people like you, to go in and rescue these moms and children that have been taken. And I just got a report last week that said the things they were doing to these moms and children, it's a new generation now. It's just like you said, it was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. Now, it's the next generation. And I was told it's beyond your imagination on how evil.
It's evil. And it's so bad that people won't want to hear it. They don't want to know about it. They pretend it's not there. Even now when it's worth going in, it's just getting back on ISIS, it's worth going in and wiping them out because of what our kids, our grandkids will have to fight. I always bring up, if you haven't seen the videos of they call it the Cubs of the Caliphate. They're these 5-year-old kids that are executing people in horrific ways. If we don't stop that, what do you think those kids are going to be like in 13 years? Will they be normal? They're executioners at 5. And we'll just kick the can down the road. I hate that analogy, but okay, grandkids, have fun fighting the jihad. You know, it's a real thing.
You went, you were part of the rescue attempt to get Marcus Luttrell.
Yes, I was part of the coalition. A lot of us in different places, but we run the airfield when the rescue helicopters went to get him and were shot down. And I actually saw them come back, the survivors of the second, a Turbine 3-4, I believe it was, that survived. And then they had us walk in, so we spent about 2.5 days awake walking, trying to. We knew Luttrell was missing. We thought Axelson was missing, and we didn't know if there were survivors. So we were walking. It's like 120 degrees walking through the mountains of Konar Province, and that was my first deployment with that elite SEAL team.
So when you go in there, tell me the difference between trying to save that SEAL team and what you think it might have been like to save, what was his name that deserted?
Bo Bergdahl.
Yeah.
I attempted to rescue him too. I was on the base when he walked off too.
So tell me the difference between those two.
Well, the difference was Marcus and his crew were in there on a noble mission trying to kill trying to capture, kill Ahmad Shah, a Taliban leader in the neighborhood. They got in a fight. They could handle themselves. They were in there because they wanted to be there. It was noble. And then the rescue attempt was to get in the fight. Really good guys getting in the fight. They got shot down with whatever they say shot them down. And then it's something that we want to do with Bergdahl. We knew he walked off the day he walked off. The way that we used to work, we'd wake up when the sun was going down, grab your coffee, go listen to the brief, and then you work overnight, and then go to bed, during the day. When we got up that one day, they said, hey, we had this private walk-off base, and he got rolled up by the Taliban, and we had to stop the entire war effort and stop trying to hit high-value individuals and go after this guy, trying to just get intelligence on the fly, always moving. We were so close to the point where I actually had the ransom in my hands that the Taliban paid a family to get rid of Bergdahl, to buy him. But the difference there was we knew that we're going after this loon that just misguided deserter, and then Luttrell was a hero.
Yeah, you knew he was a deserter.
The second it happened.
The second it happened.
Oh yeah, there's I mentioned it in my book. There's stuff that was said that we were intercepting traffic about how the Taliban really wanted him because they just wanted to abuse him. And that we found this guy on the side of the road. He walked off. We knew he walked off. And then we spent days, I think 19 attempts my team had. We lost one of our dogs on it. He got shot and killed in a gunfight, but I know some soldiers were killed in other attempts to rescue Bergdahl. And,
so how do you deal with that? How do you deal with, how do you deal not, I would be frank with you, not beating the snot out of Bergdahl?
Well, I mean, we didn't get him. If we did, we would have wanted to, but it'd be important to get him back. Well, you can't.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he's an American. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
That's being an idiot's not a crime, but deserting is. So we'd want to bring him back and have him properly punished.
Sure, not really treated like he's a criminal.
No, he got his punishment with the Taliban. He got his punishment in their custody. Yeah, but when they came back, they made it political. They wanted, he's a hero. He's a distinguished service. It was terrible. I mean, the name Bergdahl, when we knew who he was, we knew what he was, a misguided deserter. But when they even tried to change it over the course of the years to, well, he didn't desert, he fell back on a patrol and they grabbed him, which is not the case at all. He mailed his stuff home, he walked off, no question. But they spun it politically like you can imagine some politicians will do.
Back in just a second. The name of the book is The Operator, Robert O'Neill, firing the shots that killed Osama bin Laden and my years as a SEAL team warrior. Back with him in just a second.